Very pleasant. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Defo Show as we continue the countdown towards the big Xmas Day. We got Hanukkah already underway. Holidays are in full bloom. Weather's been brilliant outside here in South Florida. So if you're with us here in our hometown, you're feeling great about things and getting a nice little Christmassy, wintry snowfall in places like New Jersey. I don't know, New York. Did they get the same thing? Got a shot from Jersey Kyle. He was up at his beach home on the Jersey Shore in Manasquan, New Jersey. Is it Manasquan or Manasquan? It's one of those two things.
Oh, good.
It's one of those things with like kind of a Native
gonna say-
American name. Can you say an Indian name? And yet you have no idea where the hell it is. But it's down there on the Jersey Shore. Very, very nice place. I mean, he made a great investment there. But he goes up there for the weekend, had some bar mitzvah to go to or something. And sure enough, catches snow. He's out there with a shovel, and but it was one of those nice powdery snowfalls that makes you feel like, wow, this is what the holiday spirit should be. Yeah, exactly. So good to be with you guys. Tony Segreto is going to join us for a little old school about 8:30 this morning, and we're waiting to hear back from Ed Garcia. We haven't talked to Ed. It was weird because it was last Wednesday. This whole Sharon Moore story broke, where and people knew about it. We should have gotten in touch with our man John U. Bacon. Did you realize that he dropped a big bombshell on some media platform that was picked up by virtually everybody, Lubie? This was our guy. You found him.
I haven't heard back from him in a long time. I reached out to him a while ago, and I never heard back. So I'll get in touch with him.
Maybe he changed his number because we were calling him so. Not an uncommon occurrence in our experience of trying to book guests here. But no, Bacon loved us. So I would think that he would want to respond if he was getting your messages, Lubie. He was a big fan of coming on the show, much in the same spirit as Len Robbins and many others, where they realize when they come on the program here, the interview will not necessarily be the usual series of questions that we're going to start in an unusual place and probably end up somewhere else. But nonetheless, get the information. The information he had that was the big bombshell, though, was that it was common knowledge that this was the worst kept secret in Michigan sports history and maybe even in sports history, that Sharon Moore was having an affair with one of the members of the staff who mysteriously, would this have been an indicator? You think this would have raised a red flag for you, Libby? Where a woman is working for a coach in his department as some kind of assistant. And I don't know if she wasn't really an administrative assistant. She was doing something that involved actually some kind of connection to the team activities, I believe. And she went from making $58,000 a year to $93,000 from one year to the next.
Oh, nice!
Without any change of job description and or any variation in responsibility.
Oh, Jesus!
She got a 33% raise from like a $60,000 salary. All you would have to imagine because she had this very affectionate relationship going with Sharon Moore. But we haven't talked to Ed since that happened last Wednesday after he was on the show. We're throwing all this glowing praise at the Michigan program, and the thing's falling completely apart and is a shambles at this point. As they now what bowl game are they in? The Michigan Wolverines. You would imagine their attention might be greatly distracted after all the different things that happen there. That program has been under a lot of duress between the cheating scandals and two different coaches getting suspended for the same thing, even though they had already. Did they ban this guy permanently from football? The coach that was responsible for the sign stealing scandal that was going to all of these other schools and trying to pick up on what their signals were. And I still think, I don't know. I mean, should you be punished or penalized for going out of your way to steal signs like that? Maybe. But sign stealing has been part of sports forever. Has it not? I mean, I listen to any broadcast with Joe Garagiola. All he talks about is, well, you're going to have to change the signs now. You got a guy on second base. So, I don't know, Louis. How do you feel about that? Is it as severe of a thing, as serious of a thing that would get two different coaches suspended? One essentially, what happened with Jim Harbaugh? I mean, he pretty much had to leave college football, did he not? He was going to be under sanctions for the next 10 years. I don't know exactly what it entailed, but it was essentially an exit visa from college football,
Yes.
where he was receiving these penalties. And they bring in Sharon Moore after he takes the job with the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh. And you're thinking, okay, that's nice, promoted from within. And then this guy gets involved in a scandal of that level. So hopefully we'll get to talk to Ed and get the reaction from a diehard Michigan fan on that one. I have to bring this up just because it struck me. It's really odd to see. You rarely see this where the person responsible for a mass shooting, when it is clearly one individual, and even if it's a couple of people, rarely do you see the person still at large like a week later.
Yeah, this is the whole thing's. I mean, it's not weird with who's handling it, but it's not normal. Like usually they get the person within hours or within a day or two.
Usually they get him right there. I mean, on the spot. The guy ends up being entrapped and surrounded by law enforcement. Many times a person ends up taking their own life in that spot. But I can't. I mean, there have been so many of them. There probably are more than a handful that the shooter walked away and was found later. But I couldn't help but think of Tommy Lee Jones was in a couple of these movies where he's like the head of the FBI. And one was The Fugitive, of course, with Harrison Ford when they made the movie of the fabled television series, one of my favorite series of all time. Love David Jansen, man. You talk about it, a guy that had no luck. It was David Jansen as The Fugitive. Every time it looked like this guy was about to just find a clear path to happiness in spite of all the things that had gone wrong in his life and the false accusations and the fact that he was convicted of a murder that he had absolutely nothing to do with while he was trying to chase down the real killer. Unlike O.J. Simpson, there was a real killer out there that wasn't the fugitive, the fictional character that David Jansen was playing, Dr. Richard Kimball. But Kimball had no luck, Louis. You're too young to remember the Fugitive television series.
The
Did you ever
movie,
see the episodes?
No, I know the movie. I've heard of the show and I know the movie.
The show was better than the movie because it was great drama. But anytime this guy looked like he was, I mean, he would be living on some farm as a farmhand. Nobody knew who he was. They had no idea that this guy was some escaped convict that was being the subject of, or was the subject of a massive manhunt around the country. And sure enough, he'd be in some farm in Kansas, and there was a beautiful daughter that was a part of the farm that would fall in love with him, and he's living in a barn there, and they're doing it in the hay, and looks like he's going to be on a clear path to happiness the rest of his life. And what happens? Here comes Lieutenant Philip Gerard, and he enrolls his daughter in the University of Kansas. They stop at a gas station there, and they just happen to run into Kimball. I mean, the guy had no luck. He gets a job on the backstretch at Bay Meadows in San Francisco. He's walking horses. He's happy with that. He's content, even though he was living a very high life on the social ladder before. He was perfectly okay being a humble hot walker. And sure enough, Lieutenant Philip Gerard invests in a horse, and the horse is running at Bay Meadows. Here comes Gerard in the paddock. There's there's Kimball walking this horse in to run in the third race, some cheap claimer. No luck, the guy had. But I'll say this. I mean, Tommy Lee Jones in the movie The Fugitive, and then he was also in a movie very similar, U.S. Marshals. I don't know if you remember that movie, U.S. Marshals.
Yes, I saw that as well. I love Tommy Lee Jones.
You talk about hands-on, man. I mean, this guy, he's on a manhunt that as soon as he gets there, he takes over everything. The local cops are like mushed into the background. Hey, this is my show now. Do you see this with Kash Patel? I mean,
No.
where is he on this thing? Has he even made a comment? Well, we're trying to find a guy.
Doing all the things wrong.
He's on a podcast with his girlfriend.
I love it. Yeah, it's.
I mean, is the head of the FBI always? It certainly is a far cry. It makes you think that these movies are pure fiction, no? Where the head of the organization, whatever it is, the FBI, U.S. Marshals, comes in there and he's like a hands-on dude, like General Norman Schwarzkopf.
I mean, they're not supposed to be that. They're not supposed to go onto the scene of a kidnapping or anything, but they definitely shouldn't just be doing stupid ass podcasts when. Shooting happened a week ago.
Is there any concern on the part of the head of the FBI about finding this guy?
It doesn't seem like it. I don't know. I'm just confused by a lot of things.
What level of ineptitude can any of these people that were appointed by a certain president possibly display, where you now have this thing with Hegseth with the boat. Well, we can't release that second video where we killed 2 innocent people.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're hanging onto a boat. They certainly posed a big threat to the military at that point.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they had slingshots. They might have been able to knock down those choppers that were hovering overhead. And anyway, I don't want to get too deeply into that, but it does seem to me that there isn't any compelling
No.
impetus there on the part of the head of the FBI to find this guy. You've heard nothing coming. I don't know if Caroline Levitt's made a few statements about it, but it is weird to see this suspect still at large. I don't know. Can you call it a suspect when you don't know who the guy was? They do have the video that seems to indicate somebody acting very strangely, like it might have actually been the shooter. I don't know if you've seen those, but very hard to recognize. It's not like that Mangione kid where you clearly saw his face and they were able to identify him when he walked into what was he getting, some French fries at McDonald's or something? When somebody identified him and they finally caught the guy. All right, enough on the political front. It just seems weird that this person is not only still at large, but there's been no ability to identify who the hell it was that killed 2 students and wounded many others at what normally you would think would be a very quiet, sanctimonious type of place to go in and get your education. There was this one person, and I should remember the name, but I don't, that goes to Brown University, was on campus while the shooting was taking place, that also went to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. I think a young lady that now has been part of 2 separate campus shootings in her very brief lifetime. I mean, you're talking about a person that's under 22 years old. We were talking about this yesterday in relation to the Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fight, and we got into mismatches because the undercard is largely comprised of women's championship boxing matches. And I still will never forget the first time I called a women's boxing match. We were on, I believe, Prime Network, and it was my first real shot at doing play-by-play on TV for boxing, which was a job, I mean, going all the way back to listening to Don Dunphy and watching the Gillette Fight of the Week. It was one of those things I always wanted to do in my life. I thought I was destined to do something like that. And when I eventually got the chance, who am I working with the first 3 times I did it? But the fabled fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. And I think it was the second card that we were doing. We were at the Sun Dome in Tampa, and they popped on a women's match onto the card. Then it started to become in vogue on virtually every boxing card. It seemed like they wanted to have some kind of women's match. The sport was really had just been recently introduced. It was suspect whether or not people were going to accept it, but it seemed to really generate some eyeballs. So promoters started putting more and more of these matches on. But the problem was, as we talked about yesterday, Lubie, that there weren't enough good women boxers to make them competitive. So usually it was a blatant mismatch, which is what appears to be the case with this Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight. But the women's undercard now is far more competitive. You do have matches that are very compelling, including what we saw that was essentially, I mean, it was right up there with Gotti Ward in terms of the trilogy, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. And I don't know that the third fight was as good as the first 2. And that was probably the case with Gotti Ward, if you really look back at it and analyze the thing. But the first 2 fights, I mean, were just as good as any boxing match you would see. If the certain things that you look for in terms of competition and exchanges and ebb and flow, as Howard Cosell would say, they were fully in evidence there. And blood and guts and all of it, all of the things that any boxing fan craves in what usually comprises a great match. We're right there in that Serrano Katie Taylor, the first couple of fights, and even some elements of that were there in the third one. And that led us to what's wrong with women's college basketball. Lubie.
Yes.
And they still, I see this should not be happening anymore because there should be some kind of categorizing of the level of competition that you're facing. I don't know that this is doing any good for the game. I was looking at the record of, and if you look at the scores of the games last night, you had LSU 91, Morgan 33, TCU 109, Arkansas Pine Bluff 54. See, That was only a 55-point blowout there.
There you
That's
go. Only.
highly competitive. UCLA 115, Cal Poly Pomona 28. All right, so I had been reading about these Kim Mulkey blowouts, and there was a little attachment there, addendum to the crawl, that there was some inordinate number of 50-point wins so far this year by LSU, which if you've been looking at their scores, it's insane. This is not uncommon. It's actually like more competitive. Morgan was put up a better battle than a lot of the opponents Kim Mulkey and the LSU Tigers have faced. 91-33, not that bad of a game. So here are their scores so far this year. I think they moved to 12-0. They win their opener 108-55, 115-26, 118-70, 117-59, 101-71, 112-49, 113-53, 112-35. They played Duke, and it was actually somewhat competitive, 93-77. So only a 16-point win. Can you imagine?
No.
Kim Mulkey probably pulled her hair out. That was probably
Yes.
standing up like Don King there on the sidelines as she's
When-
speaking to players. You better get your head in the game. Huh?
The Pirate Spritz after that game.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, 126-62. Then they played an 87-61 game. I think that was against like Louisiana Tech or something.
Wow.
Who could be interested in that?
No.
I mean, if you're an LSU fan, do you really want to be dancing on people's grave? This is very Trumpian, talking about the Rob Reiner comments. Are you dancing on it, spitting on it? That was my favorite movie title. I remember I was blown by the Strand Theater in Brooklyn, New York, and they had a triple header. And one of the movies, I'll never forget this title, was I Spit on Your Grave. And I thought, wow, how insulting can it get? Right on your grave, Lubie.
Yep.
Imagine some program director walking by your grave. Here lies Mike Lubie Lubitz, great father, great talent, dedicated producer, long associated with many great projects. And the guy comes by and just spits on your grave.
Worst. Yeah, worst. We've talked about that. It's the worst.
Unbelievable. But yeah, this is that's pretty low stuff, isn't it? I mean, what is the point of playing these games, Lubie? You have 12 games so far, and you've won 8 of them by like 50-plus points. How can anybody look? You're dancing in the streets, like I said, if you're an LSU fan. But I mean, can you really get that much enjoyment out of spitting on the grave of these unfortunate people and these young? What does that do? I mean, you're talking about getting destroyed. And she's got her starters in the game. I mean, very Gino Auriemma-esque. She makes Gino look like a shining light when it comes to competitive spirit, doesn't she? Kim Mulkey. The outfits, I like the fact that she comes in with a little bit of like Ric Flair, in terms of costume.
That's Flair. That's her thing. Yes.
You don't know if you're looking at the basketball coach or the fabulous Moolah coming out to wrestle in the event. Yeah, she is the #1 women's wrestler of all time. Undefeated champion, the fabulous Moolah. Blowout City. It's not entertainment. Kim, let's get a new schedule. No? If you want to show that LSU basketball, women's basketball is worth a watch, I mean, are you really playing that many? It's one thing to have like one blowout on the schedule, Lubie. I don't know. How do you feel about all this? Indifferent?
I mean, it happens. It's fine. It's just to see this, like, every game should not be a blowout like that. Like, when
every
you get
other game. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I mean, that's the problem in college, women's college.
115-26, Lubie.
3 or 4 teams driving.
Literally.
I don't know. None. That's why I don't really watch. I mean, it's grown in the sense of not the same teams win every few years. They change out, but it's like 3 or 4 teams are really good, and then there's a lot of garbage. And I get that could be in other sports. It's just right now in most of our sports there's a weird level of parity. So we're getting used to parity and everything else but that sport. Like, that sport is ass whippings. I mean, that's really what it is.
Doesn't somebody need, like, some administrative body need to get in there and just say, hey, listen, girls, this isn't helping us. This is bad stuff, because people are going to turn it off. I mean, and why would you even watch to begin with when you know a team's going to lose? I mean, they lost by 90 points, Lubie, 89 points. You have an 89-point victory. That's a disgrace that you're scheduling that game. This is a women's basketball, too, where it's not like they usually score in the hundreds. Talking about games that are, routinely in the 70s, if even
70s,
that?
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Get out of here. NBA Cup last night. Did you watch, Lubie? Did you get involved? I caught the
The second
second
half,
half.
my Knicks fan friends were like, "Yeah, another banner." I was like,
It's their first since 1973. Holy. There is the Busher. Can you believe this guy?
"There
What an
you go.
acquisition.
There you go."
Trivia question for you, Lubie. We'll have the trivia challenge tomorrow. And I would imagine any Nick fan knows this, maybe basketball historians. It should be a very easy answer. We'll look for, I know Andy knows this. I'm assuming Brian, who's also active on the chat line right now, is aware. Who were the Knicks that were traded to Detroit for Dave DeBusschere? Two Knicks in particular. There may have been other smaller elements of this trade, but essentially it was Dave DeBusschere for what two Knick players, what
Oh,
two
wow.
Knick starters were involved in the Dave DeBusschere deal. 1973. DeBusschere was great. That was a fun team to watch, very entertaining. And that's the last time. I mean, think about despair. You talk about here, we don't have any answers for the Miami Dolphins, who have not won a playoff game in 25 years and won't even be in there to lose one this year. Now, a lot of anxiety about Tua Tagovailoa. Will he start the next game, Lubie, in your opinion? Will he be the starting quarterback?
I mean, it's fine with me if they just go to the bench and play whoever else will make them lose even more. Like I wish they would have done.
The backup quarterback.
I would rather than have done it 4 games ago, because then they could have lost to us Saints. They could have lost to the Bills. Like you're not gonna make the playoffs. You're gonna be in that 10 to 20 range drafting. I'd rather you have done this a couple games ago and gotten into that 5 to 10 range. Whatever. I know he wasn't good. He hasn't been a very different quarterback in the second half. He was just abysmal. I mean, they had like 60 yards, I guess, at one point passing, which is just stupid. But yours and Zach Wilson aren't better, but okay, that's fine.
How do we know they're not better?
It's fine with me. Play him. I mean, they're a horrible team. I don't give a crap at this point. Like, Tua is not your future. We know he's not your future. He's not a
Wins
franchise.
are irrelevant. They don't help you at this stage.
Just go. I mean, go play the young guys. It's what I wanted FSU to do down the stretch, which they didn't do. When you know you're bad and you're not going anywhere, play young guys. See what they have, so at least you can start something for next year.
Do we know what Zach Wilson has, or will this be another one of those sort of Cinderella stories where a guy leaves New York, is somewhat of a vagabond, goes to a couple of other teams, doesn't really do much, and then finds his place? I mean, it happened to Sam Darnold. It's happened to an extent. I don't know that we saw enough of it this year. Could Daniel Jones have sustained what he was doing? We'll never know that answer because he gets hurt and his season is over. But I don't know. I mean, I wasn't convinced that he was going to be able to do that through the entire year. Were you? Even Sam Darnold having a brilliant year with Minnesota. Just last year, 2 years ago?
It was last season.
Last year, yeah, last year. And then towards the end of the season, he started to throw those Zeppelins up there and was starting to make some very poor decisions in terms of throwing into traffic. And instead of getting the miracle catch like Carson Beck got in that opening game against Notre Dame, he was starting to get the routine interception where you're asking yourself, how the F did he throw that ball into triple coverage? He had no chance. So the bad decision making, is it just that certain guys don't have the ability to sustain it all the way through?
Like, yeah, I mean, because look, the Seahawks are already starting to struggle a little bit. Darnold, they put up 16 points against, or 18 points against a horrendous team. Look, these guys show some growth. Geno Smith, they're fine. They're better than bust, but they're not vastly bad. It's what Tua is now. He's a franchise guy. He's a starter. He can start a game here and there.
Didn't look like $50 million worth.
He's not worth that big deal. Just like Darnold's not really worth a big deal, and Geno Smith's not really worth a big deal. Like, he's a guy that can start for you. He can start a string of games. He can win you some games too. It's showing you that, but he's not a franchise guy. And I think that's what those guys are. And Zach Wilson, I don't even know if he's that. I think Zach Wilson just sucks. But maybe he was a guy drafted top 5, so there's definitely talent there somewhere. Maybe the Dolphins can show, look, he doesn't horribly suck. He can win you a game. I don't know, but yes, Tua is not getting you anywhere. So go play the young guys. Play Wilson, play yours, see what they have. Sure.
Even the biggest Tua backers have soured on this guy now. including you, Lubie. I mean, they're talking about his lack of mobility, taking a lot of sacks. His stats, by any standard, were okay in that game, but most of those were accumulated in so-called garbage time when they were
Yeah,
down
the end of
28-3 in the fourth
the game.
quarter. And he engineered and orchestrated a couple of drives, and they got 2 touchdowns. And his quarterback rating shows you what a farce this number is. Imagine quoting this statistic. Well, he had a quarterback rating of 133.6, which what is perfect? Like 150 something?
It's like it used to be 158.6. I don't know.
Strangest stat. I mean, I understand most statistics, although now with these quantifying analytical breakdowns, there are stats that pop up that I have no idea what the hell they are. But I was always sort of statistically oriented as a sports fan. Still, I like to scan the stats of league leaders and things like that. I don't know. Do you ever go through that, Louis? See who's like,
All
where
the
your
time.
guys stand versus the rest of the league? Yeah, we got one guy. He's 19th in scoring, 21.5 a game. You look through that, but we were geared towards statistics because of Topps baseball cards. And you knew the stat of virtually every player. I mean, Valmy Thomas could come to the plate for the Philadelphia Phillies, and you knew the, hey, yeah, no wonder he had 253 in Double A last year. So we were really statistically heavily induced in terms of our sports viewing and appreciation. The quarterback rating, I mean, how could you have a guy with a high quarterback rating in a game where he absolutely stunk and they're going to put him on the freaking bench, Libby? And his quarterback rating, if you look at the number, it looks fine. You would take that every time. 133, whatever, very substantial, top end, top level quarterback rating. So it shows you that stat's absolutely. I mean, you couldn't be any more misleading because by
100%.
any standard, Tagovailoa not only had a horrible game, but it was an eye-opening horrible game
Yeah.
where you actually have to open up the possibility of throwing Quinn Ewers out there on the field for your last 3 games. Wow. I'm getting too steamed up about Tua Tagovailoa here. I like the kid too. He's one of those guys that you would be rooting for. But the regression, does that not also make certain aspersions legitimate that are being cast towards Mike McDaniel's ability to coach a team? That this was his baby, Lubie. He was Adam Gase to Ryan Tannehill. He was going to be the quarterback whisperer. You can do it. You can do it. The biggest endorser of Tua Tagovailoa was McDaniel. He was supposedly, I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but the story goes that he was pushing heavily to give him the contract.
Probably.
Sure, they could have dodged. Imagine this, Chris Greer. I doubt that Stephen Ross will ever speak to this man again.
Yeah.
Imagine you gave Tua Tagovailoa $50 million next year. We can't even dump the guy.
Yeah, it sucks. He had a great year and he stayed healthy. So, and a lot of people were weary about it. I said, just give him the money because what are you going to do? You need a quarterback. He's shown he's at least a top 10 guy. So you got to pay him.
Sure.
And instantly he went back to getting hurt and then started turning it over too. So,
more interceptions than anybody in the league. You would have never thought that. I mean, the guy's throwing these quick, do-not passes. And not the kind of passes that usually get picked off. Every time he drops back to pass, doesn't it seem like he's always in an awkward position?
On the throws he throws on the ones he has intercepted, yes, it's usually him just hoping a guy's in a spot, not sure if he's open or not even sure if he's near the spot. And then the other thing, because he doesn't have the strongest arm, for him it's all about how his body's positioned so that he can have the zip. These throws are not that. He's leaning, his legs are all over the place.
There's a high pop-up. Yeah.
Nothing on him.
You can hear Harry Carey in the background going, popped up in disgust when some Cub in a key spot ended up hitting a towering fly ball in the infield. All right, let's bring on Tony, and then we'll take a break. We'll introduce Tony Segreto standing by with a little old school. We saved the college football for Tony because that's more his bag. Tony, how are you, my friend?
I am fine. I'm sitting in Vermont. It's 23 degrees. It's snowing around.
Now, is it that powdery kind of snow that makes you think you're in a postcard somewhere? That's what it looked like to me.
Yes.
At least around New Jersey. Now, how was the ride up there, Tony?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah? How many days were you on the road?
Well, 3 days supposed to be. But then my wife's last day I was in Albany. So I was going to stay there and pick my wife up because that's what she was supposed to fly into.
Okay.
her flight was canceled.
Of course.
So my son put her on a flight to Hartford.
Okay.
So that turned out to be a 4th day of travel, because from Albany to Hartford is 3 hours
Yeah.
and
Wow.
back. So
And you're hopping from airport to airport there, trying to get there ahead of your wife. Unbelievable.
yes,
You're in the Albany airport. That's kind of like the Great Race, right, Lubie?
this happened to me before.
Race.
I
What was it?
was coming home from a Jets game.
Okay.
My son just started working for Delta. I was at LaGuardia. I had to go to Newark. I go to Newark. My flight was canceled. I had to go to JFK.
Oh, geez. Wow. Yeah, I remember those days traveling around where, you were just boogieing from place to place, trying to find some way out before you had to stay overnight in like Pittsburgh or something. So you got there. That's good stuff. We're going to get into this Hurricanes game against Texas A&M. See what you think
That's a
about
big game. It's a
You were
big
right
game.
about the Miami Dolphins. They fell apart in Pittsburgh. We gave you all
The
kinds of.
Dolphins, I, I have never seen. First of all, talking about McDaniel now,
Yeah.
that he's on the string,
Well,
but
you would think. Yeah.
I have never seen a franchise lose face so fast.
I saw him, and I'm not a big fan of this guy, Craig Carton. A lot of his stuff is popping up on my Facebook feed for some reason. And now everybody's always making these bold declarations, but he's saying that the Miami Dolphins over the last 25 years are the worst franchise in NFL football. That they haven't won a playoff game in 25 years. And
Well, what about the
I mean, I know he's looking for clickbait or whatever, but I don't know that they're the worst, but it's pretty,
right up there?
disgraceful. I mean, what's happened with this once fabled franchise? Remember that they used to have that line, Harvey Green, in the media guide, that Don Shula is the only coach that has never had a losing season. And then when he then when he went like 8-8 one year or whatever it was, 7-7, they changed that line to Don Shula's now had 27 consecutive non-losing seasons, even though it wasn't a winning year. And then they had that one abortion of a season where with Marino he went like 6-10, and then Harvey just dropped that line from the whole media. But that used to be like the first thing on the Don Shula bio, that he's had like 27 consecutive,
God
winning.
bless Harvey Green.
Yeah. 25 years of futility. We'll get into that. Get into the college football games. Ed Garcia's status remains unknown, and it's been a week, but so it's kind of
He's hiding out. He's hiding out. He
But
doesn't
that's
want.
your own Moore story. Yeah, that was a wild one, and that broke after we were singing nothing but the praises of Michigan football and basketball.
That story is continuing to unravel, and it'll continue to unravel, because
All right.
if he was with one girl, they could be two, they could be three.
There is more? Another girl? Wow. It's just getting like more bizarre than the Epstein files. All right, we're coming back with Tony Segreto, a little old school, in a moment. Now that. The time! Johnny, it's 8:40.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs, unmatched. Steaks, hand cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone when you can have Horizon?
Joe Bees. The bees collect the pollen, bring it to Joe, he packages it, and he gets it to you. It's simple, 100% natural, and it's good for you.
There's only one place to get Joe Bees, and that's from me. Joe B.
If you want to look and feel good, call 877-300-5632.
What we gonna do right here is go back, way back into time.
We are now kicking it old school with the one and only Tony Segreto. Brought to you by Texas Roadhouse.
Welcome back to the show, Wednesday edition of the program. That means we're talking to Tony Segreto, brought to you by Texas Roadhouse Restaurants. Tony's up in Vermont enjoying the cool weather. And you look like you want to pop in with something here right away. Go ahead, Tony. Fire it up.
Sunday night, I got in about 5 o'clock. I went to Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, you did?
Nice.
Great.
In Albany. First of all, on a Sunday night at 6:30, the place was packed. I mean, out the door.
Like I've been there on a Monday, on a Thursday, on a Wednesday.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
They're always jammed.
Good prices will do that with high quality
I
products.
sat at the bar. I had salmon but I had three and a half rolls.
Of course.
Did you take a bunch, for the ride?
No,
Nothing like shoveling a roll in your face when you're midway to Hartford from Albany.
I had a beer. I mean, I was in heaven. It was great. It was fabulous.
Why do you fool yourself though with the salmon? I know it's great.
It's healthy, and they do a good job.
I'm not a big salmon guy anymore. I was at one time a big
My
fan.
son was all over me about that.
But I mean, you crave the ribeye steak, Tony, and a giant big potato.
They do a great salmon. They actually really do. But the
They do a nice
burgers,
job.
steaks there, like with the prices that they have for the burgers and the steaks there.
Salmon. It reminds me of when I was at a local restaurant here, and I ordered a chicken Caesar salad. I was having lunch with a guy, and the server, it's sort of one of those. I don't want to say old battle axe types, but the kind of it looked like Maud, the server, and she had one of those voices too, like you would find more commonly at a truck stop than a high end restaurant. And she says to me, "A chicken Caesar, you could get that at a gas station." Right now, they have a good chicken Caesar in this place. I mean, all of their food is very, very good, but I just don't see the salmon being the top priority of a guy unless you were just a non-red meat eating
Yeah,
person.
you don't eat red meat at all.
I think it's just habit now.
Oh, you like it? Because it's funny because Shirley does the same thing. They do this smothered pork chop.
Oh,
that's utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
So like whenever we get Roadhouse, I have to get even though she loves the steak and the burgers, we've gotten all the things. I have to get her the pork chop just because it's her go-to. Like even she'll have some of my steak, obviously, or whatever. But so I get it. Like they do a really good job with a lot of different things. You get sort of in that rhythm of like, this is I go to Roadhouse, so this is what I get.
I came my son, he got Dad, you got to have a steak. I can't believe you're not having a steak.
Really?
So I came this close to ordering a steak plus the salmon.
Oh, you're gonna, and that would have made some sense too. You want to have something you can dig into on the road. That was part of a series I want to eventually produce. I thought about it again yesterday, dining while driving, where there's an art to eating in the car,
We
and
ought to do that.
some people are limited, but I'll just like dig in with my fingers to a roasted chicken while I'm in the car coming back from like Costco or something. So yeah, there's definitely
There's
an art to
nothing
it.
like Chick-fil-A on the way to
See,
where
I never got into the Chick-fil-A thing. I actually the only time I had it, what was at a Hurricanes baseball game, believe it or not, where we had the one of whatever the suites are there, and that had to be a relatively new addition because I don't remember there being any kind of suites when I was calling those games and sitting on that. You would get that cold cement after about and those college baseball games back then. It took like 4.5 hours every single one of
four
them.
and a half that on a good day.
Yeah,
On a good
yeah,
day.
yeah. I mean, with the walks and the aluminum bats and the whole thing. And it got to be kind of arduous. I don't remember any luxury suites, but the thing was catered with some Chick-fil-A, and I thought it's all right. I don't know. I mean, would I wait behind felt ropes like I was at Wolfie's Rascal House back in the day on 21st Street or whatever that was? And think like you were with an extra person. You'd be two people, so you just grab some bums so you could go in the line for three, and then you give the guy an iced tea and tell him to get the hell out of there. Because for some reason they gave priority to the people parties of three. Did you ever notice that in that place?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What'd you go down there for? The Larry King show? That were you ever on the Larry King? No, you were too young for that when he was doing radio down here.
Too young.
Too young.
Way too young. But it's back to Texas Roadhouse. It was absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, as you would imagine. I mean, we can't recommend it more wholeheartedly, and we need to impose on Ed for another one of those freebie get-togethers, which what we greatly appreciate. That'll be a lot of fun. All right, so what do you think of Tony Segreto? What are you hearing on the grapevine? You're Mr. Miami. You're a University of Miami graduate. You're on the board of directors. You have giant pull. You can get 50-yard line seats for the Gator game when both teams were ranked. What do you think? I mean, what are their chances here against Texas A&M? Do we know? I don't know that I've seen enough Texas A&M football to really give any kind of reasonable opinion about. I mean, the only thing I noticed is they lost to Texas. I watched a lot of that game, and that was very unimpressive for a team that was previously unbeaten. Although they were life and death in their prior ball game to pull off a miracle, but they did. What do you think? Does Miami stand a chance in this game? And do they have any shot, in your opinion, Tony Segreto, of going all the way?
They have a shot, but I would not put Mario Cristobal up against Mike Elko.
We had that, yeah. If that was one of those things in the newspaper where you had to check the box who has the edge. The two lines you probably give to Miami, offense and defense, coaching. How big of a box do you have to rate a guy against Mario Cristobal in terms of advantage? What do you think, Lubie? How big of a box do we need there?
I don't know. Look, Cristobal probably doesn't suck as much as I say he does. He just has major issues that he hasn't. He just has gotten better in areas and that to me is a major black mark. Like whether you're a player or a coach, if you don't grow, you're going backwards. And we've seen Elko grow as a coach. We have not seen Cristobal grow. We've seen Cristobal stay the same, if not get worse, because he gets more and more talent. And it's like what people are saying of Norvell, and it's sort of true that like he's a G5 coach, and he sort of is. Like he recruits like he's still in the G5. He coaches like when you get more talent, you're supposed to go, okay, we can do different things now. We can change things. Like Cristobal doesn't. He runs it seems like in the second half, no matter who the quarterback is, no matter what the team is, he's going to do the same thing over and over again. Like to me, that's like he's regressing as a coach. Then like if you're getting more talent but coaching like the same way you did at FIU, like that's weird, and that to me, you want to use the word suck, fine, call it whatever you want. I think he's a below average coach. And I think these other guys are not. Like Mike Elko, from defensive coordinator to head coach at Duke, was a certain level, did certain things. He's now gone on to Texas A&M, certain level, done certain things. And you can see him progressing, and he's a younger guy. Like Cristobal's never been that guy. And that bothers me. Like Nick Saban, right? Nick Saban, halfway through everything, was winning, was like, yeah, but we're not winning the same way. The game's changing. Okay. You know, like the great coaches, even Belichick, as much as I despised him, he realized from an offensive standpoint, you can't just do the same old things. You got to transform as the game transforms. You know, that's what Kirby Smart is starting to run into. And we'll see if Kirby Smart can learn how to pivot from, okay, this style worked for me. Okay, now it's not working for me. You know, like Dan Lanning has that issue. Like, to me, Cristobal is in it. He's in that second tier. He's not for all the praise, I can't put him there because he doesn't grow coach. He is stuck in this, okay, I've gotten to this level doing this, and I'm just going to keep doing this. Okay. Like, then that means you're an average coach. Like, that's what that means to me. Average to good at times is what I think of Mario Cristobal. And I think Mike Elko has a chance to be a good to great coach because it seems like, at least now, again, it's a smaller sample size. It's only a second job. He hasn't been at either job for very long. But it seems like, look at Marcel Reed. Look at the way Marcel Reed plays quarterback. Cam Ward did that under Cristobal, but it felt like under duress. Like it felt like they had to get to a certain point in the game and then Ward could go and be buck wild. Like Marcel Reed plays like the same way. Now it's good or bad the last month. Like he's been up and down. But you didn't see a guy play like that under Mario Cristobal until Cam Ward last year. And that felt like Cam Ward just said, screw you, coaches. I'm doing whatever. I mean, it literally looked like it. You would watch the game, and at some point,
well, he did. He did.
Right, I'm done listening to you. I'm done doing whatever the hell boring crap you're trying to tell me to do. I'm going to go chuck it. And against the defenses, it worked. And against
he did that. He did that.
Like Marcel Reed already plays like that in year 2 at Texas A&M, year 5 as a head coach for Elko. So that's my problem. Like, and look, it's Tua's issue, right? Like I'm fighting about Mac Jones, one of the worst starting quarterbacks in NFL history, versus Tua, who was a top 10 quarterback 2 years ago. Like Tua is a starter. Tua is a solid quarterback. He never grew. He never got better at evading a rush. He never got better at consistently throwing the ball downfield. Okay, my arm's not strong. Fine, then I have to throw it earlier. He never got good at it. He's hit or miss with downfield throws. He never got better at end of game situations. You know, he didn't grow. Tua hit this place. He's good at the things he's good at, but he's capped out. Like, so that's why even I have to say, okay, Tua is more of an average quarterback than he is a good to great quarterback. You know, and I think that's what Cristobal is. Cristobal isn't a horrible coach. Like, he gets teams to 9-10 wins. He can get your program to a relevant place, but he doesn't grow. And if you're not growing,
he's a great recruiter. He can recruit his pants off. And then, you know what? He doesn't help the players get better.
You really capsulized Lubie's point. All right, we're giving the edge to Elko, is what we decided, right?
What was the question?
The question. I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. I mean, naturally, I'm with Lubie 1,000% on the Cristobal factor, and he made several brilliant points about evolution of players. And I don't know Elko well enough. I mean, I know a little bit of tracking of his history. Texas A&M was a good story this year, but I didn't really, like I said, I didn't catch much of their action until the Texas game, and I'm looking at Texas thinking what a bitter disappointment they were this year. And they're manhandling Texas A&M. So I don't know. I have to give Miami a shot in this thing. I'm going to go ahead and recommend to my many faithful backers
I'm going to give Miami a shot
tend
too.
to go the other way. I'm going to take the 3.5 points and figure that is the Cristobal factor right there. Because in a game that possibly looms.
I'd love to see nothing more than Miami win, because I think if they win that game, then they could go on.
You think they will beat Ohio State if they survive this one?
No, I don't say that.
Or is that where the buck stops? Although I wouldn't put it way ahead of Mario Cristobal in terms of game day.
I think if any team matches up with Ohio State, it's Miami.
Okay. I mean, Indiana certainly matched up with them because they beat them, but well, we'll see. At least they got in there. I mean, that's a good thing. Thank you, Manny Diaz, for accomplishing the improbable and taking a 5-loss team to the ACC championship.
Thank you.
What are we talking about here? I mean, a 5-loss team won the ACC title, and neither of the participants in the title game made it to the college football championship playoff. That's the only way Miami gets there, right? So that's kind of an interesting
They got
thing.
to change that.
All right. What are you doing? I mean, are you putting 2 on the bench there, Tony Segreto? Is it time? Yeah.
It's time. That franchise is in so much chaos that
Yeah. Do you expect Mike McDaniel to return
no.
next year? Stephen Ross seems to love this guy. I'm waiting for him to just start. I mean, we joke about Andy Reid as like a Chinese restaurant menu there instead of the play card. And he's got all that stuff. Because it's interesting to me how they block everything. Don't these coaches look organized? Have you ever been that organized, Tony? Lubie, I know. You're not. You don't tend to have things like in yellow magic marker covered up to highlight. Oh, we want to run the ball up the middle when it's 4th and 1. I mean, I don't know. It's always interesting, the colorful play charts that they have. But we always speculated that Andy Reid probably had like a barbecue menu on the inside of that thing, and that's what he was looking at. With McDaniel, when is he just going to take a bite out of the play card and just start eating the thing?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
is it even worth talking about?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's interesting because you had a guy that was supposed to be this play calling and design wizard, and he's like designing his way right out of a head coaching position. And is it all his fault? Maybe. I mean, nothing is the sole responsibility of the head coach. Obviously, the players are the ones out there doing things, and he looks befuddled. Though I've never seen a guy.
He looks really befuddled.
Looks like my grandchildren when you come over, and if you don't have a second $100 bill to hand them, then they're got the phone like this, like the rest of the time, just covering. That's McDaniel. Does he ever even look up? Does he even know what's going on the field? He's always glued with these big, thick Coke bottle glasses to the play chart. And then you're asking yourself, what is he looking at there? What did he block out in yellow? I mean, did he block out the running game? What is he looking at?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I see him coming back for some reason. Although after this last debacle,
if he comes back, the Dolphin fans would be up in arms.
We're not tight enough for the group to revolt. Yeah.
I have no idea. I mean, the fact that it's
Mario Cristobal.
Well, he's going to win the national championship and be here for life.
They're in the playoffs, and the Canes were mired in 5 to 8 win seasons, and they've had back-to-back. I mean, he's not going. And that deal is it's not utterly insane anymore. Now he's not even a top 10 paid coach with these stupid deals we've had the last 2-3 months. But it's a big enough deal where he's not going anywhere. McDaniel, the fans don't care. If the fans cared more, he probably would be gone. The problem is it's this fan base that Ross clearly doesn't give a crap about and doesn't listen to at all. So it feels like maybe it felt like he was for sure back before. Now I don't know.
What is it about these wealthy owners like Stephen Ross that they can't win? There's something about them they can't.
He listens to the wrong people. It seems to be the problem with this guy.
Bingo.
In terms of on-field football play, every other aspect, he's killing it.
Yeah.
So as most owners are, I started to watch this thing, and then I realized how disgusting and repulsive it was that I was watching this last night. And no, it wasn't Pulp Fiction. I was talking about this documentary they did on the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if you've seen that on Netflix. I was looking for something. And just the first few minutes of the nauseum that's caused by, or the nausea that's caused by Jerry Jones, I couldn't watch anymore. And then I realized, why am I watching this, man? I despise this guy. I mean, as a football owner. Now he has far more football intuition, you would have to say, than Stephen Ross, because he actually was a player, and it's not like he
was successful
after football knowledge, but I mean, he's ruined this franchise by being a meddlesome owner. They haven't done squat either. I mean,
what do you want? Do you want a meddlesome owner?
I would want Stephen Ross, but I would want him maybe listening to different people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Talk to your man Nat Moore. Talk to your man Marino, Tony. What's wrong with you? Tell him what you see. Two is finished. Whoever gave him that $50 million premature evaluation, I mean, they could have gone ahead and paid him like $30 million and had no obligation down the road, and let him play last year as a franchise tag guy. No, or this year, I guess he could have been franchise tagged. I think last year he was still under his 5-year rookie contract.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Nothing like snookering yourself when you're a lousy franchise. This is the kind of things that these kind of franchises do, though, where not only do you not win now, but you hamper and impede any chance you have for winning in the immediate future.
You know, they should call this half hour Barstool Sports.
I don't know whether we're that far out there, but yeah. I have to put some like Native American headdress on and do the show like I was Danny Little Red Lopez.
We should get a couple of beers and sit at the bar and
there you go.
That's it. Yeah. Well, that's essentially the concept.
What we do.
All right, Tony, we got to run, man. Try a steak next time. What is wrong with you? Nothing against the seafood dishes that they have there. You're always badgering Ed Garcia about the trout. You think Garcia didn't want to come on the show today?
He must be insane. I mean, it must be insane there. So
yeah, he does have 14 restaurants to run.
Yes, he does.
And he's got a family.
Yeah, well, and he has a good time too.
He does. He does get out there.
By the time I got to the afternoon, I'm looking at Sharon Moore is fired. What the hell happened here?
Yeah, that was crazy.
You mentioned that. There was no indication that this was coming.
That was about as wild a story as I've ever seen.
He's lucky so much other crap is going on in the world of sport because that cycled itself out of the.
He's lucky that there's other crap going on.
Yeah.
Period.
Because otherwise, people would just be hammered. I mean, I saw enough follow-up stories on that and a lot of detail, but still, nobody knows exactly, what the parameters are. Aware of.
I thought that's that the revelation of the contract, the secretary's contract, was
that was
eye-opening.
Would that have been an eye-opener if you're a university administrator and you're thinking, wait a minute, what is this girl going to be doing differently? Oh, really? I mean, that would you go from 1 year
and
get
taking shorthand
raise.
She got to take shorthand.
Yeah. Well, she was doing something, shorthanded. I guess I don't know. Whatever it was not a pretty story. So, all right, Tony, we don't want to leave on a sour note there. We will catch you. Oh no, maybe Tuesday of next week.
I was gonna think maybe Tuesday. We're gonna miss the next week for sure, but maybe Tuesday next week. We're gonna do shows Monday and Tuesday. I want to at least get some Texas Roadhouse, Tony Segreto time in. So
yes,
enjoy this week, sir, and we will see you hopefully next Tuesday.
Thank you. Enjoy the snow, Tony Segreto.
You're at a Defo for some reason. All right, Tony, we'll see you.
We'll see you, Tony.
I got rid of.
You got rid of the wrong guy. How many times has that been said in one of those little clubs that Gotti was running? You got rid of the wrong guy. All right, boss, don't worry. I'll make amends.
Exactly.
All right, Lubie, a lot of fun today. That was great.
Yes, sir.
And, we had a good time. Thank you for the participation, people on the chat line. I always enjoy that. So we will do it again tomorrow. Scheduled, I believe, to have Dave Gurgly and the Trivia Challenge. Is that true?
Oh, let me double check.
Gurgly. And the trivia question, I mean, it was a simple one. Andy, of course, knew it right away. And I like the way that he phrased the answer. He put the initials down of Walt Bellamy, big bells, Walt Bellamy, who was a good ball player. And my favorite chucker of all time, Howard Butch Comives out of Bowling Green, who we asked Jim Larinaga about, and he knew every detail about the guy. And he actually, I think, helped him get a job there coaching at Bowling Green, where Larinaga had also been employed as a head basketball coach. All right, we will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much. We'll find out if you're a trivia player. Be sure to stay tuned here because I believe the Gurgles would have mentioned if he was not going to make an appearance on tomorrow's show. So we'll think that we're going to have the trivia challenge for you tomorrow, and a professor with the big board and some in-depth analysis on these 4 college football playoff games. Which, how much of a mystery are they, Lubie? Would you lay the big points in the 2 blowout games, or would you take them? 17 in a hook, Tulane, Ole Miss. 21 in a hook.
Interesting. Tulane, I would take the points actually with Tulane.
Yeah.
Oregon and James Madison. I think Oregon may,
They
because
blow them
Oregon
out.
has had their issues. So yeah, I think Oregon may take care of James Madison. Tulane's actually been pretty solid, and again, they don't have their Ole Miss won't have their coach. Oh, was Tulane not have their coach either? Oh shoot, because all these
He took the Florida job, but I think he's coaching.
Summerall, I think, is going to be there for Tulane, whereas
Yeah.
Lane's not going to be there for Ole Miss.
It's a totally different circumstance.
That means something. I think Ole Miss will win, but yeah, I mean, if it's 17, I would take Tulane there.
Yeah. Is that reverse racism? No.
No.
Where the white guy is the one that's crucified. All right. We will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for being with us. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, young Luca Panici Lubitz, I'm Jeff DeForest. And thanks to Tony for joining us. We'll see you next time as we leave you know that.
The time.
It's 9:07.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.